Good morning. It's Steve again here at PSBU, and I'm here today teaching my wonderful students on the English language program. Today we've had a change of pace. We've introduced a new topic, the IELTS English language testing system exam, and I'm teaching my students exam technique on how to get a good score in IELTS. We're still doing presentations, which I've got to say have vastly improved. They're becoming very sharp, slick and well presented, and even your PowerPoints are becoming more professional. I can see a big difference from the first one we did, which was my hometown, a topic which you're all familiar with obviously, but your presentations are getting much better. Now today we've started to look at the IELTS testing system. There's all 4 skills: reading, writing, speaking, listening. So today we've just covered a little bit, just had a casual walk through. We've looked at the writing part and we've looked at the listening part. Tomorrow I'd like to do a listening test with you and start to do that, because I know that's a problem for some of you, and it's difficult because you're going at the speaker's speed, not your speed. You know, if I speak to you in class, I slow down and simplify the sentence. That won't happen in an IELTS test, and there's no repetition. You can't ask questions or interject. So how do you feel about doing a listening test tomorrow? Will you be okay with that?
Yes, of course. I think it's really interesting, and I'm waiting for it because the lesson is good for us. Yeah, we need to study IELTS, and IELTS is so important. And somehow you share some tips like how to note it when it comes to listening, when it comes to reading, and you also share how to improve our writing. Yes,
okay,
that's good.
Good. How about you? Where would you like to study abroad? Australia, Canada, America, the UK? What's your aim?
About me, I want to study abroad at Singapore, because their education is very high for us, and it can improve our education to be more better than this. And we also can get a best opportunity to volunteer, to get a better job or a high salary also.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the aim, isn't it? And the IELTS certificate is a prerequisite for entering universities in other countries. The reason for that is it would be a total shame if you went, say, to the UK and you were smart enough and you got there and you couldn't keep up with the lectures, you know, because your listening skills or note-taking skills are not adequate, and you failed because of that. Not because you're not smart enough, just because your English language skills are not there, because the teaching system is different. When you go to lectures, you cannot ask questions, you have to sit and take notes. The questions come at the tutorials a couple of weeks after the lecture. So you have to take notes, read your subject, and then ask the questions. So you need to be very good in all 4 skills. So today I also taught the students how to use a thesaurus, because I can't believe that nobody taught them, but they hadn't. So instead of using repetition words in an essay or in the speaking, they can use thesaurus to look up similar words. So how did you find the use of that? Was that interesting for you?
For the thesaurus, I'm very interested with it because it helped me a lot on writings and also readings, because I can check the synonym words and also the find another words that can use to, when the examiners check it, they will give me the high scores.
That's right, yeah, because if you keep repeating the same word over and over, it shows a lack of vocabulary. That's right. It's a very simple tool. I still use it today. If I'm writing an essay, I open that in the background, and I try to avoid repetition of words, because it becomes tedious for the reader. It's boring. It shows a lack of vocabulary. And I know the words, but they don't instantly come to mind. So you just flick onto the thesaurus, and there it is. You've got a choice. Yeah, so it's a very useful tool. Yeah. How did you find the walkthrough on the writing? I showed you how to structure a paragraph, because academic writing, which is the IELTS writing, that's what it's about, is very sort of template based, if you like. It's a set format, a set structure. It's the easiest form of writing, but you need to know the format, the structure, if you like. Was that interesting for you?
I think it's important for me because when I know about this, can give me a good score when I exam the IELTS. Yes, because when I know about this, can give me a good to write in exam IELTS. Yes, and can give me a good point in the IELTS test.
Okay, good. And finally, a question about me. This is important for me as a teacher because teaching IELTS is about exam technique. So I have to drill you on various techniques. And the problem for me is to make this interesting and keep it on the boil, keep it on the go for you, keep it interesting and not tedious and boring. So I propose to give you homework assignments where you're repeating the technique that I've shown you in class. And I don't want to keep repeat in class because that can become very tedious. And I don't want you to get bored. That's a killer. You know, if I take your favourite subject, which English might be, and make it boring, that's no good. So how did I do teaching IELTS today? Did I do a good job?
For my ideas, I think you did a great job because you gave me formulas, techniques, and motivate us to try hard to study and to get a high score on IELTS, especially around 6.5 or 7.
Okay.
For me, I think it's important. So like when you teach me about the IELTS, teach me about the communication, teach me about the don't shy to ask the when the presentation, also like the communication with another, also like also you teach me about the IELTS when I get a high score, also give me a good study, like study abroad or study like a good job also, because the IELTS is the good for the global in the world.
Yeah, so I'm focusing not only on IELTS but peripheral skills like the thesaurus. Learn to use that. I know you can't use it in the exam, but by using it in class or for your homework, and not just my subject, your other teachers, you're developing a knowledge bank of various vocabulary. So you're increasing your vocabulary as you go. That's how native speakers learn the language. We don't necessarily study language intensely, you know, because we're using it on a daily basis, we expand it naturally. That's where I'm trying to get you. Okay, so all in all, hopefully we've got a successful course for the IELTS for the students and develop their skills even further. Thank you very much from PSBU. Thank you.